Okay, we should be live. We should be live. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're all doing well on this fine Friday evening. Super cold here in the UK, man. Super, super cold. Real horrible weather right now. But, you know, once February's out of the way, fingers crossed it's going to start to warm up a little bit. But yeah, man, long fucking week. Long fucking week. But let's have a look here. Let me just sort this out. These tabs in the background. Okay. Nearly closed the wrong tab then. Yes, big up to Jim McDonald Boxing in the chat. What's going on, Jim? What's going on? Hopefully you're doing well, bro. Got a nice little bottle of... we've got a bottle of Cobra at the minute. Got a couple more to go as well. So that's my Friday evening sorted. I've not got a curry to go with it, though, unfortunately. But there we go. We can't have it all. We can't have it all. Okie dokie. Let's pour this beer anyway. Let's pour this beer quickly. Look at this. Beautiful stuff. Big up to Simon Finnegan. Simon Finnegan in the chat. Hopefully you're doing well, Simon. He says, thoughts on the WBA heavyweight title shambles? Yeah, it's an absolute joke, bro. I mean, we've got Joshua as the super champion, obviously. He's the main man in the WBA. We've got Trevor Bryan as the regular WBA champion and Manuel Char as champion in recess. Bear in mind, Manuel Char hasn't fought since, 2017? It's ridiculous, the situation that they've got going on right now. And bear in mind, 2 or 3 years ago, the president of the WBA said that they was going to start cutting down on belts. Well, that's not happened, has it? Not at all. In fact, they've got more belts, it seems, these days. So, yeah, it's a complete joke. Just waters down the sport, dilutes the sport, and it makes it harder for casual fans to follow. You know, if I told my friend who's a casual, oh, Trevor Bryan's the heavyweight champion of the world, he'd say, who the fuck's Trevor Bryan? Joshua's the heavyweight champion, or Fury's the heavyweight champion. Do you know what I mean? It's a complete joke. It's a complete joke. But yeah, man, it's crazy, Simon. It's crazy. Big up to Jim. He says, all good, thanks, fella. Tucked up in bed with a wee spliffy like some good old pensioner I am. Fair play, bro. I've not had a joint in a long time, bro. Long time. In your opinion, who is the best promoter stable out there, both UK and US combined? That's a hard one, you know. Matchroom are up there, of course. They've got Canelo only on a short-term deal. They've got Joshua, Warrington, Bivol. Matchroom have got a great stable. Top Rank, Crawford, Lomachenko, Teofimo, Fury. I'd probably say Top Rank, actually. I'd say Top Rank have the best stable in terms of pure quality. They've got a lot of guys on that pound-for-pound list, including Inoue as well. So I'd say Top Rank in terms of pure strength of depth and quality. I'd say Top Rank are the best stable out there right now. Big up to Mad Chad. Salute, man. Hopefully you're doing well. 2K21. Boxing Ego blocked me when I asked if his mum had an OnlyFans. Oh, yeah. WBA gold champions Robert Helenius. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, me too, Jim. Me too, Jim, because that fight had really good odds on Maxim Vlasov. And it was a good fight in general, really, that fight. Would have been very competitive. What are your thoughts on mandatory fights? Because it bores me when any bum can get a mandatory. For example, Yildirim or Cesaretta. Yeah, that's the downside. Sometimes we get these guys who are unknown or unproven. They get themselves a title shot and they get blown out of the water. That is true. But on the flip side, sometimes these Mando positions can give guys shots who wouldn't usually get them. You know, look at Jojo Diaz this weekend. He's fighting Rakhimov. Would Rakhimov get a title shot ordinarily? Probably not if he wasn't a Mando. So it works in swings and roundabouts. In an ideal world, it should take more to be a Mando, and the rankings ideally could be a bit better. But yeah, it's one of those catch-22 situations, in my opinion. Does she have an OnlyFans? Dear. No, there's no footage of him, Simon. None at all, from what I understand. There's some footage of him training, but that's really about it. And he looks pretty poor in training, to be honest, Simon. Just a big lump, really. Big lump. That's all he is. Nothing special, Christopher Lovejoy. He was supposed to fight Bermain Stavern on the Trevor Bryan card, but obviously Bermain Stavern fought Trevor Bryan instead. I think Bermain Stavern would have actually beat Christopher Lovejoy. Slipped on ice, down 7 to 8 stairs, arse first, banged up and sore, but nothing broke. Well, you're lucky, bro. You're lucky, man. Now, hopefully you're okay, though. Just a few bruises, and you'll get past that, man. But yeah, you're very lucky. Could have been a lot worse, man. I fell down the stairs a couple of times. And yeah, I came out unscathed, fortunately. But yeah, it's always dicing with death there. Yeah, man. Some of the Mandos are a joke, no doubt about it. Occasionally, they'll come through with a good Mando, like Spence versus Brook, for example, and this weekend, Diaz-Rakhimov. But yeah, for the most part, these guys, there's a lot of unproven people getting title shots these days for beating nobody. Yes, big up to Simon Coulthard. Best regards to the channel with regards from Brighton. Eubank country, that is. Brighton. Levi Khan, straight out of NYC. Hopefully you're doing well, Levi. G-Man as well. Shout out to Blue Collar Sports TV. Yeah, thanks for that. Big up, G-Man. Exactly, Mad Chad. That's the only thing you can be in that situation, because who knows, man? You could have been laid up for like 6 months, could have broke your leg, your arm, your collarbone, and God forbid, your neck. So, listen, you came out of it quite well, all things considered. All things considered. I told you all Lovejoy wouldn't fight the other weekend. Obviously, haha, if you believe a word that convicted felon says, you aren't the sharpest tool in the shed. Yeah, he seems like a bit of a chancer, or a fly-by-night, as we say in the UK. Christopher Lovejoy, bit of a character. I kind of want to see him fight, just to see how bad he really is. But yeah, I probably won't see him fight anytime soon. I fell down the stairs last year and snapped both my ankles clean. It was horrendous. Laugh out loud. I don't know whether you're being serious, Jim, but if that's true, then yeah, that sounds fucked up. Did you see the video Fury put out on his Instagram? To me, he looked incredibly out of fight shape and beginning to look a bit like he did after Vladimir. I'm worried he's slipping away again. Yeah, I saw that. He certainly looked like he put on a few pounds, no doubt about it. I don't think he looked as bad as some people say, but he certainly looked out of shape, out of fight shape. But yeah, that can be rectified in a long camp. I wouldn't really be too worried about it, to be honest. I wouldn't really be too worried about it. But yeah, ideally, he should be staying in shape all year round, Tyson Fury. Ideally. Big up to Benjo. Cheers, Chad. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. Big up to Adam UK as well. How do you say skint and desperate would be how to describe Christopher Lovejoy? As a wise YouTuber once said, there's no one more dangerous than a desperate man. Indeed, it's very true. Nothing more dangerous in this world than a desperate man or a scared man. More so a scared man. Nothing more dangerous. Be very wary of those sort of people. Big up to Adam. Did you see that pic of Fury swimming? Looks fleshy, but nothing too bad. That's what I thought, G-Man. Yeah, a bit out of shape, a few pounds here and there, but yeah, he can easily turn that around. Like 20 pounds for someone like Tyson Fury is only like 4 or 5 pounds for someone like me. We have to take that into account. Do you know what I mean? He's a big old boy, Tyson. So when he puts a bit of weight on, it probably sounds worse than it really is. Simon says, bit random, but as a fighter, how do you think Tommy Morrison will be remembered? He was such an exciting fighter. His fight with Ruddock was an epic. Yeah, the knockout against Razor Ruddock was brutal, man. Listen, I think he's just going to be remembered for what he was, a real entertaining but flawed fighter. People remember the knockout losses to Michael Bentz and obviously Ray Mercer. That Ray Mercer knockout loss was brutal, but he knocked out, as you say, Razor Ruddock, beat George Foreman on points. Listen, man, he's going to be remembered as a fun fighter. Didn't make the most of his talent, in my opinion. And, you know, he's marked his place in boxing history for better or worse with what went on, you know. But yeah, good fighter, Tommy Morrison. Good fighter. Good fighter. Big up to Boxing Loser Stars. I think that's Pigeon, isn't it? Big up to Pigeon. I liked the video Pigeon as well, by the way. Kind of, I was cracking up, brother. Okay, Ruiz has slimmed down. Okay, healthy eating, working hard. #1 heavyweight in my eyes. Listen, man, if he gets in shape, you never know. You never know what the ceiling is. Bear in mind what he did, grossly out of shape. So, listen, if he sheds a few pounds, stays training, stays dedicated, who knows? The sky's the ceiling for Andy Ruiz. Oh, big up to G-Man Boxing, by the way. You're officially worth more than Christopher Lovejoy. I am now, brother. I'll try and take over his career and use your little investment as his signing on bonus. I'll be his manager, G-Man. Big up to G-Man, though. Thanks for the support. Big up. Oh, that's crazy, Jim McDonald. That's crazy. That must have hurt. That must have hurt. I agree, Levi. I think Stavern would have ironed out Lovejoy as well. A rat in a corner becomes a savage pit bull, indeed. Indeed. Very good point. Very good analogy. Big up Del Boy and Jim. Big up you too, Crazy D3. Big up you too, man. Yeah, and again, that's part of it, Jim. His story is kind of tragic, Tommy Morrison, and also let's be honest about it. Like the amount of deceit around that kind of whole story was kind of very disturbing. There were reports that this guy had AIDS basically for the vast majority of his career, fighting people with AIDS. So, listen, man, it's a messed up story, Tommy Morrison, but he left his mark in his own way. And yeah, he was involved in some good fights. And yeah, starred in a Rocky movie. Yeah, was that Rocky 4? Mad Chad, was it Rocky 4? Or was it the third one? I forget. But yeah, he was in Rocky, yeah. No, nah, I don't, Simon. I would probably say like Dubai, Saudi Arabia. I'd say Middle East. I'd say Middle East because, yeah, they might not get a large live gate in the Middle East, but they would get a huge site fee. Like Joshua Ruiz they had a massive site fee. Not a big crowd, but a massive site fee. I could see that happening. Neither did I, bro. Neither did I. Neither did I. Got no real interest in him, to be honest, Copend. Big up to Marcy D. Yeah, so what's happened, Adam? Both guys have agreed terms, no purse bid. It's going to go down in America, and more details are going to get released rather soon. So yeah, basically the fight is on, unless something crazy happens. But yeah, it's basically on. Oh dear. Okay, there's footage of Lovejoy on his Instagram page fighting in Mexico. He looks very slow and cumbersome. Yeah, I can imagine by looking at him. Look at the state of him. If AJ didn't run, Ruiz out of shape would have knocked him out. Ruiz in shape will cut off a ring and stop either AJ or Fury. Yeah, but the only thing I've got a problem with in regards to Ruiz, if you stand in his wheelhouse and trade with him, he's going to get the better of you because he's nice and compact, quick hands, punches in bunches. He's got a great habit of staying composed in exchanges where he can punch in between your punches and get his shots off first. But I don't think, even if Ruiz loses weight, I don't think he's ever going to be like a guy who is necessarily great at cutting off a ring because his feet are slow. Maybe his feet will speed up a bit if he loses more weight, but I think naturally he's quite flat-footed. So if a guy is boxing and moving who's taller and longer, I think Ruiz will always have a few problems, but he'll definitely give himself a better chance if he's in shape, no doubt. No doubt about it. Basically, I just want to see this guy actually dedicate himself and see where he can go, basically. Yeah, it's a good fight, Marcy. Liam Williams, Demetrius Andrade. That's the sort of fight Andrade needs right now because the last few opponents haven't really come to win. Liam Williams, he'll come to win. He'll try and knock him out. So it's a good fight. Rocky 5, that was it. No, Rocky 5. I swear Rocky 5 was with Antonio Tarver. That was the newest one. Maybe it was Rocky 5. I thought it was 4. Oh, it's Rocky 5. It is Rocky 5. Yeah, I thought it was 4. Yeah, especially back then, Boxing Loser Stars, when the medicine wasn't as good. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think you can, Simon. I think you can definitely win a belt, especially, considering what happens after Undisputed. I'm sure a couple of belts are going to go vacant. So I could see Usyk picking up a belt, but looks like he's going to fight Joe Joyce next, and that is very dangerous. Very dangerous fight. Very good point. Tommy's career went downhill after Rocky Five. Coincidentally, Roy Jones Jr. went down after he was in the Matrix film in 2003. Next month, he lost to Tava. Yeah, that's a very good point. The curse of the movies, and yeah, the Matrix film Roy Jones was in was fucking panned by critics. Nobody liked it. Basically, everyone thinks Matrix 2 and Matrix 3 are terrible. I've only seen the first one. I enjoyed it. That was years ago, though. Oh, I've made my prediction, Crazy. My prediction is Jojo on points. I think he's a bit more versatile. I think he's a better all-round boxer. I think he'll find a way to do it. It'll be a hard fight, though. And he's not going to get his smelling salts in America, no doubt. He won't get his smelling salts in America. That's what I'm thinking, Simon. I think Andrade is going to keep the range, be awkward, be elusive, and he'll kind of fiddle around and pick up a points win. That's how I see that fight as well. I don't really see a future Cop-End 09. When he first come on the scene, he looked interesting, but I've seen a few more of his fights since, and to me, he just looks too small, not really a big puncher, not a super impressive work rate. He can be hit, his head movement is good for like a couple of rounds. He's okay. I think he's one of those guys who looks better than he really is. I think he'll get dealt with, to be honest with you, Cop-End. I think he'll get dealt with. Tom Brady on that salt as well. See, Levi, I used to love Provodnikov back in the day. One of my favourite fighters. In terms of pure action, Provodnikov was one of the best. But yeah, 5 years out of a ring, at like 36, 37 years old, after a real hard career, he's going to get fucked up if he comes back. I want to see him stay retired. But, it's up to him. If he's fit enough to get a boxing license, who am I to tell him not to? But I'd rather see him stay retired, personally. I was a big Provodnikov fan. Big Provodnikov fan back in the day. Well, hopefully it's true, Adam. He's going to fight Yildirim in February, this month. And he's going to fight, what's his face? Looks like he's going to fight Billy Joe in May. And maybe Kayla Plant in September. I'd imagine that's the route he's going to go down. Oh, yeah. That was, what's his name? It wasn't Mark Heffron. It was the other guy, Joe Mullender. Yeah, he nearly killed that dude, Levi. Joe Mullender was the guy he fucked up. See, I've only seen like a couple of the Rocky movies. I've seen the first one, and I've seen the one with Tommy Morrison in it. I've only seen two of them. See, I'm not a big fan of boxing movies for whatever reason. I like Raging Bull, great movie. That's my favourite boxing film of all time. But apart from that, I can really just take them or leave them. I'm not really a big fan of Rocky, to be honest. Not a big fan at all. Something about boxing movies I've never really been able to get into. You'd think I would do, considering I'm a boxing fan, but for whatever reason, I just can't really... It's not really my thing. Yes, big up to Johnny Boy. I just see Johnny Boy come in. Big up Johnny, man. Long time no see. Hopefully you're doing well, bro. Hopefully you're keeping well. Yeah, I think Andrade and points, Marcy. I think Andrade and points. I've got Castano by late stoppage, Crazy D3. Castano late stoppage. Teixeira is a tough old boy, big guy for the weight as well. But yeah, I think he can't. Thing is with Teixeira, he's a tall, rangy guy, but he fights on the inside, and he invites people on him far too easily. And Castano, in my opinion, is the best inside fighter at 154. And inviting that guy on for a bit of a war is going to be the worst thing Teixeira can do. That's what I see happening. He's going to be sitting on the ropes, trying to trade with Castano, and he's going to get fucking mowed down. That's what I see happening. Liam Williams, not another Callum Smith or Jones or Smith the second. Liam Williams lost to Liam Smith in 2014 or so. Yeah, I think it was like 20. It weren't that long ago, but yeah, you're right. He lost twice to Liam Smith actually. Pigeon. He lost twice, yeah. How hard is Andrade punch? Because Liam Williams is likely planning to walk through him. Yeah, I think he hits hard enough, J-Dav. The problem with Andrade is, in my opinion, his punch technique isn't great. Apart from the jab, he slaps a lot. And that's why he doesn't really, get these guys' respect all of the time. But when he actually sits down on his shot and throws it correctly, he can hurt you. For example, Selecki, where he drops Selecki. He's got decent power. I just think his technique of power punching is poor. That's what I think his problem is. Because he's got the body of like a puncher, like a tall, rangy, sort of slim guy. But very often those sort of guys are punchers. Because they can get that leverage on their shots, particularly straight shots. So yeah, I think Andrade probably hits harder than we realise, but just his poor punch technique kind of lets him down at times. I'd say Otto Wallin on points, Simon. Otto Wallin on points. I think that's a good fight for Wallin at this stage. I think it's a good fight for him. He performed really well against Tyson Fury, but we don't know whether that was a one-off. So someone like Dominic Breazeale, been there, seen it, done it at a certain level, could be a good little test. So I like that fight, but I'm going to go Otto Wallin on points. I don't think he'll stop Breazeale. I don't really... The 90s, big up to the 90s, by the way. I don't really rate Williams too highly, but he will definitely try and put it on Andrade. It'll be funny. It'll be too funny if he beat Andrade. Yeah, it could happen, bro. It could happen. Listen, a lot of people out there are very high on Andrade, and me personally, I'm totally unsold. The two hardest guys Andrade has fought, in my opinion, were Vanes Martirosyan and Jack Kolkai. In both fights, he struggled. He got dropped against Martirosyan and lost a few rounds, and he struggled with Kolkai as well. So both times I've seen this guy step up, not really impressed me. His most impressive performance, in my opinion, was against Selecki. That was his best performance, where I was impressed. But I've not seen enough from Andrade, so I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he got knocked out. And another thing. With Andrade, he's been fighting a low level of competition for a long time, and when a fighter does that, they can stagnate and their development can be stalled. And when they fight somebody who punches back with a bit of ambition, they can come up stuck. So I think it's an intriguing fight, Andrade versus Williams. I do. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a very good fight. I'm looking forward to it. Was Josh Warrington right to give up his IBF title? I said it like this. This was my stance on the whole situation. If Warrington, after this Lara tune-up fight, if he can fight either Can Xu or Gary Russell Jr., then I'll give him a pass. But if he can't get one of those two fights, if he beats Lara and he gets either Russell, Can Xu, or Navarrete, if he gets one of those three fights, I don't blame him for vacating. However, if he doesn't get those fights and he continues to fight the levels of Lara, then yeah, it's a duck in my opinion. So basically, it all depends on what happens next for Warrington. It all depends on what happens next. Because let's be honest, yeah, if he fought fucking Gary Russell Jr. or Navarrete instead of Galahad, nobody can say that's a duck. They're harder fights, as far as I'm concerned. They're harder fights. Yeah, I agree, Johnny. No doubt about it. There's no doubt in my mind. Raging Bull, best boxing movie ever made, to ever be made. Simple. Simple as that. Simple as that, as Tony Bellew would say. I've heard a lot. Do you know what, Simon? I've never seen it, but I've heard good things about it. Never seen it, though. See, I'm not a movie buff like that. I occasionally I'll sit down and watch a movie, but there's so many good movies I've never watched. Like, unbelievable amount of good movies I've never watched. Yeah, man, I'm not into Rocky films, bro. Not really a big fan. Ah, dear Johnny, man. 2 felonies. Beat the case, bro. Beat the case. Or cases. Now you'll get past it, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of like, Black Hatred. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of like. I'd rather watch boxing than a boxing movie. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's what I'm kind of like. Yeah, there was a movie as well about Roberto Duran. I think it was called Hands of Stone, which came out like in 2016. I was actually kind of interested in that film, but I heard it was shit, so I didn't watch it. Fight night champion, Adam UK, in my opinion. I'd say fight night champion. Yeah, I know what you mean, Simon. To win a world title and then give it up seems a waste. Surely champions fight all comers. All comers. If Galahad was mandatory, why not fight him again? Yeah, listen, I totally understand that point of view. And if that's how anybody feels, I don't blame them. To be honest, my only thing is like, if he can get one of those champions I mentioned, I'm not going to hold it against him. But if he doesn't, it's a bad move and it's a duck. That's how I see it personally. But we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully he can get one of those fights because he's going to look bad if he don't. He's going to look very bad. So yeah, it's up to Eddie Hearn to get him one of those fights now. By the way, lads, this Cobra beer is lovely. I love a bit of Cobra. Beautiful stuff, man. Beautiful stuff. Liam Williams couldn't beat Andrade if he had 3 arms. Boo Boo's going to smoke that Welsh fool. I don't dislike many fighters, but I don't like Williams, and I love Boo Boo. Going to be easy work. Yeah, I'll be honest, Levi. I'm not a big fan of Liam Williams. He seems like a bit of a cunt, to be honest. But on the flip side, I'm not a big fan of Andrade either. I don't like his style, so I don't really care who wins that one. I just want to see a good fight. I think it's going to be competitive. So I'm looking forward to it. How does Jared Anderson measure up against the other heavyweight prospects? I think he's one of the most interesting heavyweight prospects, top end, in my opinion. I like the fight he's got this weekend against Kingsley eBay, who actually drew with Guido Vianello, another prospect. That's a good little fight for him. He's getting moved well. He's fighting regularly, and he's very young. I think he's got a lot of natural ability. He's a heavyweight who works the body, seems comfortable up close, good punch output, decent power, good combination puncher. There's a lot to like there. I've heard comparisons actually to Riddick Bowe. So a lot of people are high on him. I like him as well. I think he's a good prospect. I really do. One of the better ones, no doubt. Robert Blyven, he says, how far do you think Alan Babich can go? To be honest with you, I think once he steps up against a guy who can judge range and who can counter a little bit and time people, I think he's going to come unstuck because defensively he's open as hell. He's a very small heavyweight. He takes a lot of risks. I think someone like David Price would beat him, to be honest. I really do. See how David Price dealt with Dave Allen. Don't be surprised if something similar happens to Alan Babich. Don't be surprised. What happens when Babich goes past 3 or 4 rounds fighting at that pace against a big dude who can punch? Who knows? I don't think, me personally, I don't think he goes far. Alan Babich. I really don't. I like his style. You know, he's fun to watch, but that's really it for me. I agree, Pigeon. Totally agree. Very good point for 90s. Warrington is somebody that needs a crowd behind him. He won't be the same fighter with no crowd. Yeah, I thought about that as well, the 90s. And listen, this sort of guy who they're bringing over, Mauricio Lara, these unknown Mexican guys, they can either be total shites or they can be, you know, a surprisingly hard fight. So it's going to be interesting to see what Lara has, what he brings to the table, being an unknown. I'm hoping he goes for it. He's got his game face on this weekend. He seems up for it. So he's going to go in there with Warrington and try and trade. So it's going to be interesting, but be interesting to see how he gets on with no crowd. No doubt about it. Circus act, Simon. Nikolai Valuev was terrible, in my opinion. Absolutely awful. This was a guy, yeah, who lost to a fucking 48-year-old Evander Holyfield, or 46, whatever he was. And yeah, he got a gift decision that night. Valuev was really, really poor. The 2 best heavyweights he fought outside of a shot Holyfield were David Haye and Ruslan Shagayev. He lost both fights. He wasn't that great at all. He really wasn't that great at all. Really, really average at best. If you shrunk him down to 6'6", he wouldn't even be a top 25 heavyweight, in my opinion, back then. That bad. Who would you prefer as a promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Blower, or Don King? Oscar De La Hoya still, because at least they'll get paid. I'd say Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah, it's up there for me, Johnny. I wouldn't say it's top 10, but it's certainly one I go to a lot. Certainly one I go to a lot. No, but I've heard good things about that, Lil Lad Stu. I've heard very good things about that. Is that the documentary called The Journeyman? I think I've heard of it. Yeah, but yeah, I've heard good things about it. If that's what you're talking about. Warrington dodged a Barry bullet, but Barry was a nightmare, to be fair. It would have been hard to get a positive vibe for Warrington for that fight. Yeah, I mean, the first fight was dull as ditch water, wasn't it? Horrible fight, first time around. But yeah, I mean, should he have rematched him? Let's be honest, probably. Because now he's got a lot of pressure to get one of those big fights. If it doesn't happen, he's going to look foolish. By the way, big up to Faust for the super chat. I never see that come up, man. It didn't pop up, so big up to Faust. Thank you for the support, brother. Hopefully you're keeping well as well, mate. Hopefully you're keeping well. We're sitting here with a nice ice-cold beer on a Friday night. What's not to like, man? What's not to like? Yeah, I know what you mean, I know what you mean, Levi. Hard to justify giving away a world title only to fight a bin man like Lara. Hope he fights Gary Russell next, but Gary would fuck Warrington up, in my opinion. See, that sort of fight to me is a 50-50 because Gary Russell Jr., you never know when the wheels are going to fall out, considering he's so inactive. And to me, against Tugshot Niambiar in his last fight, I felt Gary Russell showed a few signs of slippage in that fight. You know, it was a pretty competitive fight. Warrington throws a lot of fucking punches. He's got an extremely high work rate. I think that's a 50-50 fight right now, to be honest. But yeah, he was always going to fight Lara anyway. So, I don't know, man. One second, lads. I need to put something in the oven. Okay, I'm back. Okay, yeah, the Duran movie was dog shit. That's what I heard as well. I think it's where's it from? Fuck knows where it's from. I want to say it's Indian, bro. I want to say it's Indian. But yeah, ain't too bad, bro. It's not too bad. I don't mind it. Not too bad at all. I've been getting onto those fucking IPAs recently, Pigeon. But I quite enjoy some of them ones. But they're fucking expensive for what they are, for a little can. I'm good, Stu. I'm good, bro. I'm very good. Okay, The Fighter. I've never seen that. That's the Mickey Ward film. Never seen it. See, a few people out there think Andrade's losing this fight. Trevor Bryan, to me, bang average at best. Does the basics okay, decent jab. He can move a little bit, but not a particularly big puncher. Pretty slow. Defensively, not great. At best, I would say maybe he's just inside the top 25 heavyweights kind of area. I don't think he's that great, Trevor Bryan. I really don't. I mean, if I was someone like Filip Hrgovic or Tony Yoka, I'd be looking to get that fight right now because they both beat him. If I'm one of these young heavyweights on the come up, I'd be looking at Trevor Bryan to try and get that belt because it puts whoever wins that belt's in a good position theoretically. So yeah, I don't rate Trevor Bryan whatsoever. Babich is dog shit, so he is. Yeah, I heard rumors about this fight. Lomachenko versus Nakatani. I think it was either on Mark's stream or BDA's stream. We was discussing what was next for Lomachenko. I said it's going to be Nakatani for whatever reason. I felt that was the most likely outcome. And to me, it's not a bad fight. Nakatani beat Felix Verdejo in his last fight in a barn burner. And, you know, even against Teofimo Lopez, he gave Lopez a lot of problems. Nakatani can fight, and he's a big cunt as well. He's like 6 foot or 5'11" at lightweight. He's a big old boy, Nakatani. That's not an easy fight. That's not an easy fight whatsoever. I quite like that fight, Adam, but I'd obviously go with Lomachenko right now, but it's a hard fight. That's not an easy fight. Yes, big up to Big Dan, by the way. Big up to Big Dan. Hopefully you're keeping well, Dan. Had a few interactions with Liam Williams on Twitter. Seems like a nice guy, to be fair. Yeah, I'm just going by what I see in the public kind of thing. Maybe he is a decent guy. Maybe he's just one of those people with a short fuse. He doesn't take too much bullshit, does he, Liam Williams? Maybe I'm being harsh. And by the way, big up again to Faust for the super chat donation. What about Anna Woolhouse accidentally saying circumstance? Anna Woolhouse. I'm not a big fan of Anna. I'm not a big fan of Anna. Can't fucking speak. Been a long fucking week, man. Been a long week. The Nordic Nightmare makes Hellenius. Sorry, the Nordic Nightmare Hellenius makes Dubois quit again. Hang on, is that fight happening? That'd be a great fight if that happened. I'll tell you that much. I'd love to see that fight. Daniel Dubois reminds me of Pele Reid. Lots of hype, then a loss, and never the same fighter again. Fuck me. That's a blast from the past. Pele Reid. Yeah, Pele Reid actually knocked out Vitaly Klitschko in kickboxing way back when, like in the early 90s. Crazy. Yeah, former kickboxer turned boxer. Yeah, he was hyped at one point from what I understand. But yeah, hopefully Dubois can come back. Hopefully he can come back. Oh, big up to Colin, by the way, for the super chat. Hey, Del, sorry I've not been online. Flat out, mate. Have a bottle of Echo Falls on me. Still want that fight night with you and Calais. Big love, mate. No, thank you very much, Colin, man. Support always is very welcome on this channel. Very welcome. It's been slow progress on the channel, but you know we keep on plugging away. 22nd of February, I actually moved to a new place, so. Once that's done, I'm going to be in a new environment, new headspace, making a few changes. Give me a couple of weeks. I'm actually going to really try and start grinding on this channel and actually pushing it hard. So, yeah, any support is always welcome, bro. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much, brother. Because I'll have a bit more time, actually, theoretically, soon. So, yeah, should actually get some more content out there. And then, obviously, push my second channel as well, which I plan on doing in the next couple of months. But yeah, big up to you, Colin. Okay, where were we? Del Boy baking some cakes for his bitches. For fuck's sake. IPAs are nice, but all of a few drinks stink to cook. Yeah. IPAs, to me it's hit and miss, man. I don't like the real fruity ones, the IPAs. I'm not a big fan of like the real fruity ones. Do you know what I mean? They're a bit too much for me. But yeah, I don't mind them. I do quite like them, actually. You're probably right, G-Man. I'd pick Trevor Bryan, don't get me wrong, but Winters probably gives him a few tough rounds. Merlot and whiskey. Not a bad combination. Dear. Lomachenko's lost a lot of fans with his terrible bad loser excuses and total refusal to give any opponent credit when he is beaten by them. Yeah, but I've noticed that as well with Lomachenko. I understand his criticism in regards to the scorecards in that fight because, you know, I felt all of those cards were off, to be honest. But, you know, he can't complain that he lost that fight. He gave away the first 6 rounds. So, listen, he's got himself to blame. So, yeah, he needs to hold back on that and come again, basically. Oh, behave, LT. LT, man. Archie Sharp is like, yeah, like you say, British level at best. I think he'd get knocked out by Sam Bowen, LT, to be honest. I don't rate him at all. Or Kakache, the Irish kid. I think they both knock out Archie Sharp. Is it Anthony Kakache, the Irish guy who's got the British title right now? He would knock out Archie Sharp. Yeah, Mr. Doc. Big up to Mr. Doc, by the way. I agree. I think Nakatani has proven that he's no joke. Not on the level of a top five, but not an easy out for anybody at 135. I agree, Mr. Doc. Totally agree. In fact, some people actually said, well, I heard a few people say they felt he beat Teofimo Lopez. He's a good fighter. I felt Lopez just about beat him, personally, but he gave Lopez a real hard fight. So, listen, I like the fight. I think it's a good fight to come back to. See, that's the sort of fight I wouldn't mind being like an eliminator. It's a decent fight. Yeah, he's big. He can bang. You know, he's not scared to mix it up, Nakatani. Yeah, it's getting rescheduled though, Colin. That's the main thing because that was a good fight. It's going to get rescheduled. I think I heard April for the new date, so not too long away. Not too long away. Yeah, Mark Heffron was a slight favourite. Yeah, he was hyped up in the UK at one point, amongst like hardcore boxing fans at least. Supposed to be this big puncher who was going to blow Liam Williams away, and he got schooled and stopped. Yeah, I remember that. I remember it well. That was on the undercard of Carl Frampton and Josh Warrington. Yeah, that's fair, Copendo 9. That's fair. That's fair. I hope he comes back. I really do. I drink Hogarden 2 white beer, pure white. USA people wouldn't know what that is. I've not tried that either, mate. I'd give it a try. Yes, I remember. Yeah, in Poland, Levi. I had some of that as well, Levi. Yep, underdog in Poland. Martin Bukoli against Mariusz Wach. Yeah, crazy, wasn't it? Absolutely crazy. I made some good money on that fight as well. So yeah, the second channel. I was going to do a second channel based on like fucking current events and whatnot, but I think that only really. I'm going to have to think of another way to do that. Put it that way with how YouTube is. So I was racking my brains. What else could I do? One of my other passions in life, I wouldn't say passion per se, it sounds cheesy as fuck, but one of my enjoyments is like horror. I love horror. I love horror movies and all that shit. So I was thinking of doing like a true horror channel, whether it be serial killer discussions, fucking true, like fucked up stories, whatever it may be. Something along those lines. Something completely different, you know? Something completely different. I missed Del Boy's phone going off for a bird to come round. Oh, shit. Big up pound for pound boxing every single time. Yeah, Brewdog is nice. I don't mind Brewdog. Yep. IPA means Indian Pale Ale. They took it on the ships from England to India in the 1800s to drink to drink for the long trip. Some knowledge. Yep. It's good stuff, man. Some of it's really nice, man. Some of it's really nice. You know, you just got to find what you like and stick to them. I've not had IPA for a long time. The thing is with IPA, what I've realised is, like, I had a whole fucking crate of what do you call it? I think it was actually Brewdog. To be fair, I had a whole fucking crate of it in one night, and fuck me, I was hammered. I was absolutely hammered. Like regular beer wouldn't do that to me. There's something about IPA. I know it's a bit stronger, but something about IPA fucking does me in. If I have loads of it, does me in, mate. There's nothing better though in the summer, like going to a fucking beer garden, yeah, and having a nice fucking cold IPA, chilling with the fucking homies and shit. That's amazing. Miss those days, man. I fucking miss those days. I've heard of it, Colin. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I've not tried it. Not tried it. My regular beer usually is Guinness. That's my safe beer kind of thing. Big up to James Nunn. By the way, thanks. Thank you to James Nunn, by the way, for all of the recent comments on my videos. Been supporting hard, so big up to James. Listen, man, it's not an easy fight. Not an easy fight whatsoever. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Doc. Yeah, he's a big lightweight indeed. Decent punch output as well. Hits relatively hard. You know, it's going to take a lot to keep that guy off of you. These Japanese fighters, man. When was the last time you saw a Japanese fighter like crumble mentally and basically pack it in a fight? I don't recall ever seeing it with a Japanese fighter like quitting or calling it a day in the ring. These guys are so tough, man. So tough. That guy's going to keep on coming forwards and applying immense pressure with his size and power and output. It's going to be a hard fight. That's a real hard fight. I'd be impressed if Lomachenko wins that like easily. Very impressed. I think that's a hard fight. Yeah, Shakan Pitters versus Craig Richards. Yeah, very good fight and a great knockout as well, Colin. Great knockout. Yeah, Mick Hennessy is, he's a fighter. He keeps on going. Not had it easy as a promoter, but he keeps on going. He definitely loves the sport, Mick Hennessy. You got to give him that credit. He loves the sport. There's no doubt. Lee McGregor versus Cash Farouk rematch. Yeah, first fight was great indeed. I agree. I felt Farouk won the first fight. LT. I had Farouk winning it. I've not used it for a long time, Pigeon. Not used it for a long time. Basically, I've not really used that since fucking all this corona shit's been knocking about. Because all of these bitches out here like proper normies. So, do you know what I mean? So fuck these cunts, man. I'd rather just stick to my existing links and just run those till they're dry, basically. Until I have to find a new link. When that day comes, I'll probably hop back on fucking Tinder. But until then, I'm not going to touch it. It's horrible, G-Man. Absolutely awful. Putrid stuff. I can't stand it. I'm not a wine guy anyway, but I know a fucking bad wine when I taste one, and that's a bad wine. Yeah, Sonny Edwards, he's an idiot. Pound for pound boxing, absolute idiot with a fucking shit haircut. Yeah, I like that fight, SE29. I like that fight a lot. I think that's a harder fight than people actually expect as well. Most people think Golovkin's going to walk through him and beat him up and knock him out and have an easy time with it. I think that's a hard fight. Don't get me wrong. I would pick Golovkin to win, but I think Munguia gives him some real hard moments in that fight, especially early on. He's a big, strong young kid, throws a lot of punches, tough, all of the hunger in the world. Beating Golovkin for him would make his career. That's not an easy fight, I'm telling you. Not an easy fight. It's a good fight, though. Very good fight. Yeah, it is kind of strong, but it's fucking good stuff, though, isn't it? It's good stuff. I like it. I like a bit of fucking brew dog. Okay, apparently Gilberto Ramirez might sign with DAZN. Bivol versus Zerdo in the summer. Very good fight. Hopefully that happens, bro. Hopefully that happens. Bivol needs to fight a live body. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, bro. Yeah, if I ever visit islands, one of you guys needs to fucking sort me out, mate. You know what I mean? You need to sort me out. I was planning on going to fucking Ireland, last summer, but obviously all of this shit fucking transpired, and there's no point going really, obviously. So that never happened. We're supposed to be going to Dublin for like a long weekend with the lads, just getting fucking rat faced drunk and trying to pull, but yeah, never happened, man. Never happened. Yeah, all of these major corporations, though, the 90s are like virtue signaling and whatnot. Like Nike or fucking Apple, whoever it may be, yeah. Especially, look at the hypocrisy, yeah. Like Nike and Apple, they get on these social justice bandwagons, yet their products are made in fucking China in fucking sweatshops where people are getting paid next to nothing to make their products. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking ridiculous, bro. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. Golovkin versus Canelo 3 at 168 for 3 titles. It could happen, bro. If that fight does happen, it's going to happen at 168. There's no doubt about it. Maybe wait till Canelo's undisputed. If that happens, then have Golovkin versus Canelo. Who knows? Never had it, though. I've never had it, but Pigeon, but I've heard of it. What? So yeah, my favorite, like in terms of like Bobby Basic beers, my favorite beer is probably Guinness. But do you know what I tried not the other day, it's like fucking last summer when we went out of lockdown for the first time. I tried this fucking like chocolate stout at some independent brewery pub, and fuck me, do you know what? That was lovely. See, I'm not a fan of like fucking about with beer or adding fancy fucking flavors to whatnot and you know all that shit. But I'll tell you what, chocolate stout is absolutely beautiful, mate. And also peanut butter stout as well. Fucking wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff, mate. Fucking expensive, though. Like the chocolate stout was like fucking £9 for a little fucking bottle, but nice stuff. It was really nice. I think so, Mr. Doc. I think he's competitive. I think he's competitive. I don't think that's a blowout. I really don't. I think Golovkin wins, but I think that's going to be a harder fight than most people think. I really do. He throws a lot of punches, Munguia. Hits pretty hard. He's a big kid as well. He's only going to get stronger, so I think he'll give him a hard fight, but Golovkin ultimately will wear him down and probably stop him late, I would say. It's a good fight, though. I agree, Mr. Doc. I agree. I just can't see it. I can't see this version of Golovkin at 38 years old, whatever he is now. I just can't see him destroying a guy like Munguia in dominating fashion. I just can't see it personally. I still think he's got enough to beat him and beat him relatively decisively, but he's going to have some real hard moments in that fight if it happens. In my opinion, of course. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Yeah, G-Man Whiskey Channel, yeah. I'd watch it, bro. I don't even fucking like whiskey, but I'd watch it. G-Man's one of the best on here, no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Charlo Jacobs at 168 would be great. I'd watch it, no doubt. No doubt about it. I still want to see Jamal Charlo versus, what's man's name? Demetrius Andrade. If Andrade beats Williams, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Big up to Official Scorecard Boxing Science. Hopefully you're doing well, bro. Hopefully you're keeping well in these crazy times, man. Not driving yourself up the walls, man. Because I've been getting a bit like that recently. It's been fucking winding me up, you know, how the population is right now. So I decided, like in a fucking blink of an eye, just to move somewhere else where there's less people. That's the sort of person I am. As you get older, I just can't take this bullshit anymore, man. Do you know what I mean? Devin Haney Productions might make a purse bid for Lopez versus Camboso. It's awkward. Yeah, that'll be hilarious if it happens, Lewis. It'll be hilarious if it happens. I think Zerdo gives him a few hard rounds here and there, but yeah, I think Bivol outboxes him. To be honest, I think stylistically, Bivol is bad for Zerdo. I really do. And I rate Zerdo higher than most do. I think Zerdo's a decent fighter, to be honest. He's a good technical boxer. He does one of those guys who does the basics well. You know, long punches, southpaw, nice high guard, you know, good jab and whatnot. He does the basics well, Zerdo. And that can get you quite a way in boxing, as we've seen with guys like Badu Jack. Having a good grasp on fundamentals can get you a long way. So I think he's decent. Talk of 40 quid for Joshua versus Tyson means I'll be streaming it. Don't like giving any cash to AJ. Sorry, don't like giving AJ my cash anyway. Yeah, at £40, would I buy it? Considering I'm stingy anyway with pay-per-views. I don't know. I think I'll probably make an exception for that fight. Or I'd watch it with friends, to be honest. I'd organise a fight night. But yeah, I'd end up paying it. Get you a Belfast flight night. Sorry, get you a Belfast fight night. So many birds in Belfast. Yeah. I've never been to Ireland. Never been to Ireland. I'd love to. Love to go. The only other country I've been to in the UK is Wales, believe it or not. Never been to Scotland. Never been to Ireland. But I've been to Wales. Wales weren't too bad, weren't too bad at all. Some of the scenery in Wales is fucking awesome. It really is. Like the valleys, as they say. The valleys. I don't mind Polish. I quite like Polish women. Pigeon. I've got a story about a Polish fucking woman, but I can't really tell it on here, unfortunately. But yeah, I rate them. I rate them. Put it that way. Yeah. Not surprised, J-Dev. Not surprised. Marcus Brown's not fought in a minute, has he? Not fought in ages. Yeah, I'd agree, Mr. Doc. I think this time around, listen, I felt the first fight was a robbery. I felt the second fight was very close, could have gone either way. I think the third fight is going to be a clear but relatively competitive Canelo UD. That's how I would see it going. That's how I would see it going. The only hope I would give Golovkin, the only positive is if that fight does happen, it's going to be at 168. Maybe that could rejuvenate Golovkin. Getting down in that weight at 38 can't be that easy. So maybe fighting at 168 inadvertently could actually help Golovkin. Who knows? But yeah, third fight, I would take Canelo lopsided. Not lopsided, but a clear UD. Jonadab Larios, big up to you, sir. Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo. Decent fight. Billy Joe brings something different stylistically. Southpaw, mover, kind of slick, tricky. I think Billy Joe starts that fight well, but once Canelo gets his bearings, and kind of figures out the patterns in which Billy Joe fights, he'll start closing Billy Joe down, working the body, and he'll take over mid-rounds and probably stop him late on. That's what I would say. Canelo late stoppage in that fight. But it's a decent fight. It's a decent fight. Yeah, I thought he looked quite good as well, SE29. I felt Golovkin looked good. I enjoyed the way in that fight he was kind of, when he was throwing combinations, he wasn't loading up with every single shot. So he was throwing like one light punch, two light punch, and the third punch would be a hard power punch. He was varying the power of his punches in combinations. I felt his jab was a lot more active. There was more head movement. I enjoyed that performance by Golovkin. I know, it was against a guy who, let's be honest, should not have been in there with him. But, he showed some good signs in there, Golovkin. Maybe he's not as faded as I think he is. Maybe he's got more in the tank than I realise. That could be true. By the way, lads, I've got some chicken in the oven, yeah, and it smells lovely. Some basic fucking like Kentucky Fried Chicken. Smells lovely. Exactly, Apology Man. You nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Companies exploit ethnic minorities in one country to prop up and manipulate minorities in another. Yeah, it's messed up, isn't it? It's messed up. That's why I don't really bother with all this the political talk anymore, man. It's you know what I mean? Like, it's just absolute nonsense. Left or right, it's all same bullshit, innit? At the end of the day, all the same bullshit. All I really try and do is just live my life the best I can and be nice to the people around me, and yeah, just strive to do better. Really, I mean, what else can you really do? There's no good keeping watching the news and obsessing over politics, because it's only going to wind you up. It's only going to make you unhappy at the end of the day. And a lot of people now, they treat politics like a religion kind of thing. And I think once religion falls, like in the West, once it kind of became less prominent, people looked for other avenues to looked in other avenues to replace religion. So wokeness, I class as like almost like a religion at this point, a left or right paradigm as well, like hard left wingers or hard right wingers. They follow like almost like a religious kind of that's what they remind me of, like religious people, like proper religious zealots, yeah. Where if you don't think like they do, then you're a fucking scumbag, you're scum of the earth, blah blah blah. You know, a lot of people in this country, in the West, in general, are spiritually devoid, in my opinion. There's nothing on the inside. They're basically just walking fucking they're just like flesh and bones. There's nothing on the inside. There's no soul, there's no spirit or anything like that. Because people just, you know, they lost track of what's important. And I'm not religious, by the way. I'm not religious at all, but I am kind of spiritual. Probably think I'm a nutter now, but yeah. Probably think I'm a lunatic. Hot beer in Poland with a strawberry syrup is surprisingly good, no homo. Listen, man, I'm not going to judge you, bro. I'm not going to judge you. You know, I could easily, you know, make up rumors like you made up rumors about me liking fat chicks, but you know, I don't stoop to that level, JDev. I don't stoop to that level. Beautiful. Big up to Jessica in the chat as well. Salute to Jessica. Yeah, Porter's strong as fuck, man. Sean Porter, yeah, strong as fuck. Good fighter as well, man. Nice dude. Like all around a good guy. Like a proper, like he should be like a role model to young fighters coming up. How to conduct yourself outside the ring and inside the ring as well. You know, takes hard fights, always gives it his all. No real excuses. And by the way, Sean Porter could have moaned in regards to the Brook fight about holding and whatnot. He could have moaned in regards to the Thurman fight, bad judging. He could have moaned a lot of times, but he doesn't do it. He just gets on with it. And that's what you're supposed to do in life in general, isn't it? Just get on with it. Soldier on. I like Sean Porter a lot. A big fan of him. That's fucked up, man. Iron Barkley hospitalized. Yeah, good fighter, man. Iron Barkley. Good fighter. Very hard middleweight. Middleweight, super middleweight. Tough boy, man. Tough old boy. The Irish women are always up for it. And they love a good laugh. They remind me of Geordie women. They love a shag and a drink. That's all you need, isn't it? That's all you need. Big up to Ian Ward. Evening, Del Boy. I wish we could see Callum Johnson in a good fight. Who would you like to see him fight? It's got to be Joshua Buatsi, Ian. In my opinion, Joshua Buatsi, big domestic fight. Buatsi's like the hot prospect right now. Johnson needs to get back in those big fights. I think it's a perfect fight for both guys. It's a step up for Buatsi, and for Johnson, it's a high profile fight in which if he won, he's got another big fight at the end of it. So yeah, Johnson Buatsi for me. That's what I would say anyway. Failing that, maybe Callum Johnson fights for the European title, something like that. But I'd say Callum Johnson, Joshua Buatsi. I don't blame you, official. You know, sometimes you just need a change of scenery, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Need a change of scenery. It's not easy, man. It's not easy, bro. Yeah, I agree, Simon. I agree. Eastern European birds are fit. I love a tall girl. Yeah, Eastern European women are quite nice. Like, I've been to Bulgaria. They was nice out there, man. Really nice. Really, like, proper, just naturally good looking kind of thing. Like, no, you know what I mean? They didn't dress like Western women. They just kind of dressed like regular kind of thing. And that was banging. That was banging. But the thing is, yeah, if you go to Bulgaria as like a foreign dude on a lad's holiday, you are not going to fuck one of the local chicks. It's not going to happen. They won't. They're not going to give it up like that. You know what I mean? So you can't fuck them because they're not about that life kind of thing. Unless you go over there, yeah. Unless you're like a multi-millionaire businessman, you're not going to get anywhere in Bulgaria with Bulgarian women. It's not going to happen. But they're nice to look at. Yeah, man, that's my scene, Mr. Doc. That's my scene. Cushion for the pushing. Yeah, thick in the right places. That's what it's all about, bro. And by the way, lads, if you could smash the like, be much appreciated. Much appreciated. Italian women, yep. I've been to Italy a couple of times actually, when I was a kid, mind you. So, but it's a nice country, and yeah, the women are nice as well. Food's lovely as well, man. So you'll be onto a winner if you get an Italian girl. You'll be onto a winner. Yeah, I think it's a good bet, JDav. I think it's a good bet. Because like, let's be honest, yeah, Teixeira, he's a good fighter, but he's a tall, rangy guy. He invites pressure on himself. He tries to fight guys off him. And against an inside fighter like Castano, that could be his undoing, to be honest. Could be his undoing. Bollocks. Get rid of that. Okie dokie. Apology. He says, I also went to Wales to stay on a farm for a week back when I was a kid. Yeah, it's a nice country. It's nice. It's nice. It's a nice place, Wales. I don't mind it at all. I was in the country as well. I wasn't in the city like Cardiff or anything like that. But yeah, it's a nice place, Wales. I thought anyway. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. See, that's the only reason I actually want to go to America, to see if like the accent thing works. Like I'd actually put it on proper though. I wouldn't like talk how I'm talking now. I'd talk more formal. But I wonder if it would work. See, my friend said he went, and he's no fucking looker, put it that way. And he said he went over there, and it was like shooting fish in a barrel kind of thing. But yeah, we'll see. I doubt it. I think he's bullshitting me. But I want to see if it works. Exactly, boxing loses stars. I think that's the way. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. That's the way I look at life as well. I'm just some random guy who's got my own opinions on the world. You know, I'm not really going to put myself in a box of left wing or right wing, because these people, yeah, who do that, who are primarily left wing or primarily right wing, these people naturally will force themselves to agree to a policy in which doesn't suit them just because it's from a right wing candidate. Do you know what I mean? There can't be a right winger or a left winger who votes for their guy and accepts every single policy as perfect. Can't be. It can't be true. Do you know what I mean? Like there's some things I believe in that are socially conservative, and there are aspects in the world in which I believe should be more liberal. You know what I mean? I've got different opinions on different things. I'm not going to put myself in a box like that. So I guess I would say socially I'm conservative, like in terms of like family values and stuff like that. Socially, yeah, I'm conservative, but yeah, it's I don't like putting myself in that sort of box. Yeah, Vitali definitely tougher, Simon. Vitali a tougher dude. Having said that though, listen, Vitali was tougher in terms of chin, taking shots, no doubt. But listen, man, he's still quit in a fight through a left shoulder injury or right shoulder injury, whatever it was. He quit against Chris Bird when he was well ahead in the scorecards in like the ninth round, whatever it was. Fighters out there have fought through a lot worse than that. For all of Vladimir's faults, every single time he got dropped and hurt and stopped, he always tried to fight back Vladimir. Always in those hard fights. So maybe Vladimir's heart's underrated, to be honest. The only time Klitschko really shit the bed was against Tyson Fury. And I think then he just got his tactics horribly wrong, to be honest. Yeah, it should be a good fight, LT. Good fan-friendly fight. To be honest, Ian, I've not really researched all that much into it. But yeah, I couldn't really tell you. I'd have to research into it. I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. That's one of Dell's chat up lines. I sound like Keith Furman, don't I? Christ. Christ almighty. Okay, rumours are Deontay Wilder turned down a fight with Charles Martin. How fragile is his confidence right now? Will we ever see Wilder in the ring again? Listen, man, you never know. He's made a lot of fucking money. He's made a hell of a lot of money. And yeah, maybe he's not feeling himself right now. Maybe the confidence isn't there. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if we never saw him fight again. I think we will, personally. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. He'll come back. He'll come back against some low-level tune-up. He'll knock somebody out, and then he'll petition for a big fight. Sorry, that's what he'll do. Yeah, I liked the Klitschko's LT. I preferred Vitali. I can't lie in terms of watching him fight, but I didn't mind the Klitschko bros at all. Good fight. That's a good fight. Johnson versus Bolotniks, very good fight. I'm all for that. Listen, even if Boatsi fought Bolotniks, I wouldn't complain. Bolotniks is a tough old boy. Jessica says, Blue Collar Sports, why do so many UK fans dislike Warrington? He's fought and won against the best. I think with Josh Warrington, from early on in his career, there was always like this stigma attached to him that he was only where he was in boxing because he could sell tickets, because he's got that football fan base. I don't think that's ever really left him. Like people who don't like Leeds United, so Leeds United are the team he supports, and he caters to a lot of those football fans. He sells tickets to football fans who support Leeds. He's from that area. So a lot of football fans who watch boxing who don't like Leeds naturally are not going to like Josh Warrington. In the UK, it's a lot more tribal than America in terms of like regional areas. I think that's what it's got. I think that's where a lot of dislike for Warrington comes from. The area he comes from and who he supports and whatnot as a football team. As silly as it sounds. But I think that's where a lot of it comes from with Josh Warrington. A lot of people over here hate his fan base, basically. My prediction was a very unconfident Joe Smith Jr. close points win official. That was my official prediction for that fight. Oh, you live in Norway, bro. George C. Fucking hell. See, again, that part of the world I'd like to visit as well. Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Finland, all those sort of countries, man. I'd love to visit that part of the world. Maybe one day we will. Latvia as well. Yeah, I'd like to go to Latvia. And you can't argue with Hobags, J-Dav. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. Met a girl in Wales and was a bad experience. Go on, you go out of it, though. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Okay, cool. That's all I need. That's all I need to know. The 90s. That's all I need to know. Yeah, something different always is going to get you noticed. I guess it's always going to be, a bit of a calling card when you're in a different place. Big up to Jerome Benjamin every single time. Hopefully you're doing well, bro. By the way, I've got some chicken in the oven, so I need to take this shit out rather quickly. 1 second. Okay, we're back. Not quite done yet. Not quite done yet. Oh yeah, I heard about this, LT. Uzbekistan could happen in April. Akhmadaliev, Madrimov, and Gyasov. That'd be a very good card. Be good to see as well. New part of the world for boxing. Exactly, the 90s. These people have failed us time and time and time again. And people still vote for these people. Do you know what I mean? Like, regardless of who you vote for and whatnot, you've still got to go up and, get up for the morning, go to work, pay your bills. Nothing's really going to change in life. Like, these people are out for number one. That's themselves. So I don't vote, apology. I've never voted in a general election, put it that way. Never. Never at all. Indeed, yeah, get the likes up for those dweebs down at Silicon Valley. Yes, that's how it is, man. That's how it is, bro. Just poured the rest of the beer, rather like roughly, but there we go. Yeah, 8 cents. People that agree with everything that someone they support does are such morons. They don't even bother to think for themselves. Yeah, unfortunately, though, a lot of people are like that in 2021. It is what it is. It's almost... I do think it's partly due to, like, religion falling in the West. People always want to look at somebody else subconsciously almost as like a deity, or by looking for a replacement for religion kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That's what it seems like to me. Like, subconsciously, I think that's what people do. So like I say, left or right wing, the left right paradigm, wokeness, all of this sort of stuff. It's just like, I don't know. Just listen, man. Just try and be a nice person. Do what you can for your family, your friends. Enjoy your time with them. What else can you really do in life? Listen, people try and overcomplicate it. I've got to do this, I've got to do that by a certain age and all this nonsense. The ultimate goal really should be to enjoy yourself as much as possible. That's really it. I mean, I don't know. It's that's all there is to it, really. People try and overcomplicate life at times. That's next weekend, apology. Burchell, Valdez, I think. Yes, next weekend, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, definitely the 20th. But I've got Burchell, late stoppage, I would say. Miguel Burchell, late stoppage. Too big for him. I'd say he's too big for Valdez. Valdez will definitely... he'll definitely give it a go, have his moments, but Burchell is just too big, too relentless. Yeah, man, he's not the greatest fighter to watch, Stephen. Like, he's kind of awkward. He's a bit negative at times. Yeah, Kid Galahad, when he opens up, he actually can fight a bit, but he's so conservative for me. He needs to take more risks in there because he's got nice punch technique, nice timing, respectable enough power. He just needs to take a bit more risks in there. That's all he needs to do. Like, his last fight actually was quite good. The IBF Eliminator against, what's his face? I think it was Claudio Marrero. He actually looked quite good. But yeah, you're right. Against Warrington, man, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Bruv, no. It's not burnt. It's not burnt. Need a couple of more minutes. Exactly, Colin. I'm working class as fuck. I know people say I sound... I've heard people say I sound like middle class, but I'm working class as fuck. And listen, I would never vote for Tories because of that reason. But I'd never vote for Labour either. They're not for the working class person. Why do you think Labour lost mining towns in the north of England? If you said like even 15 years ago that the Conservatives would win mining towns in the UK, people would laugh at you. considering what happened under Margaret Thatcher back in the day. But that's how out of touch Labour are in the UK with working class people. That they are completely out of touch. Just student politics, identity politics, and poisonous ideologies. That's what they're all about, man. They're scum, and as are the Tories, man. Again, they're a bunch of just fucking scumbags, man. All of them, absolutely, just something major needs to happen in the UK. It really does, to our political system. Something major needs to happen because I've got nobody to vote for. Do you know what I mean? Like, people like me don't have anybody to vote for at all. No, I've heard of them though, Ian. I've heard of them. Never tried any though. I've got a lot to try in terms of beer, bro. There's always stuff you can try. But yeah, I've not tried anything yet. Will do, bro. You've got that heavyweight, George. There's a heavyweight out there. I forgot his name. Something like what's his name? I think his name's Kem something. I don't know what his name is, but there's some like Danish heavyweight out there. No, he's Danish. I think he's Danish, not Norwegian. Or is he Norwegian? I don't know. Oh no, man! I'd spew Unrivaled. I appreciate the offer, yeah, but I would spew on any whiskey, bro. I'm not a whiskey guy. Not a whiskey guy. I can't drink whiskey since I was like, I had a bad experience on whiskey when I was 18, like when I first turned 18, yeah, and I can't touch it. I cannot touch it. Horrible, man. Nah, can't. I can't. Sounds good. Sounds good. Pigeon. That is crazy, bro. That's crazy. Exactly, bro. Exactly, Colin. That's how out of touch Labour are in this country. Do you know what I mean? That's how out of touch they are. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. But yeah, I try not to talk about fucking politics on this channel because when you do, like I say, because of how people view politics, you're always going to upset somebody because that's part of their identity. Do you know what I mean? Like if you have a different viewpoint, they just go off on one. So I'll leave it at that with politics, man. I'll leave it at that. But I need to sort this chicken out. Getting rather hungry, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Smash the like as well. Always helps us out. But yeah, I'm going to get this chicken out of the oven, get another beer, and relax for the evening. So yeah, peace to you guys, man. Peace.